Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to share with you guys my most used makeup. So I saw Kelly Gooch do this video quite a while ago and I thought it was a really great idea because we tend to highlight like the new makeup that we're using or maybe the more exciting pieces of makeup, you know, palettes, fun colors of lipstick, things like that. But then there's sort of the behind the scenes stars that do some of the heavy lifting day to day. And those are the products that I want to share with you guys. So these are the products that I either use every single day or they're kind of my go-to, or when I'm in a rush and I know I don't have a lot of time to do my makeup, these are the things that I'm grabbing. So they're just my most used makeup. So let's dive in. I'll stop talking. Some of these products are in my project pan, so you will be familiar with some of these if you're following that series on my channel. But some of the products I put in my project pan because I use them so much, you know, so it just made sense. So one of those products is this one here. So this is the Benefit Porefessional Hydrating Primer. I got this in a boxy charm. It's in my project pan. I've been using it for a long time. This is my go-to primer because it plays well with everything. So if I'm doing, like I did a lot of weddings this summer. I did just so many weddings and all really close together. This is the only primer that I brought with me to those weddings because it works well for oily skin, it works well for dry skin, it plays well with every foundation I've ever used it with, every moisturizer underneath of it that I've used it with. It doesn't pill up or ball up or anything like that. It just works. It's just easy. So this is the go-to. I gotta get my makeup done, I gotta get to work, grab the Benefit Porefessional Hydrating Primer. I just know everything's gonna go on really smooth, my makeup's gonna stay in place pretty well throughout the day, it's gonna give me sort of an even canvas to apply my makeup onto. It's just easy. Sticking in the complexion products, this one is also in my project pan. Not all of these products are in my project, just so you know. I'm just starting with the ones that are. This is the Purlisse Perfect Glow BB Cream. This is almost gone. I love this. When I'm doing no makeup on the weekend, on a shorter work day, sometimes on my really long work days, I'll choose to sort of go light on the makeup knowing that things are gonna fall apart. We have been wearing masks for like a year and a half here at the salon. Today is the first day they've lifted the mandate for masks and I am so excited to have lipstick on. It's a very exciting day. So this has been a go-to for quite a while. It just leaves the skin looking like skin. More so than any other like tinted moisturizer, BB cream, CC cream, anything in this sort of category that I've ever tried before has not held a candle to this one. This is the one that I compare every other similar product to. It has just the right amount of coverage that it evens things out, but you can still see your skin through it. It's just beautiful. I have an oily combination skin type, and even though this has sort of a glowier finish, I love this. It stays in place really well. It wears off really evenly. So if you are wearing a mask, or if I'm going to go to the gym and I want to put a little something on, even if I sweat, there's not like lines where I've sweat this off. It's magic. It's a magical product. I don't know what else to say. So I have a lot of concealers in my collection. This continues to be my go-to formula. So this is the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. I have two shades, and this is the one. If I need my under eyes to look good, if I need my coverage to stay in place, if I have a long day, if I'm filming, like this is the one that I know is not gonna let me down, okay? I have this on today, so I have the shade Swan, which is a little bit lighter underneath my eyes, and then I have the shade Almond, sort of spot concealing my hyperpigmentation and things like that. This is such a beautiful formula. It has more of a skin-like finish than the average concealer. Most concealers tend to be quite matte, and I'm in my mid-30s, so I have some texture underneath of my eyes, some fine lines and bags and dark circles, all the things. I have all the things under my eyes, and this never looks cakey. It never enhances the texture underneath of my eyes. It leaves the area looking a little bit more hydrated. It doesn't feel like dry, you know what I mean? It's just beautiful. And while this is a more high-end product, these are giant bottles. So they're about double the size of the average concealer at the drugstore. So cost per ounce, it's very comparable to like the Milani concealer, the Covergirl concealer. If you've struggled with concealer formulas, you know, enhancing texture underneath your eyes, making you look maybe a little older than you are, I highly recommend testing this out. Sort of in the complexion category, but not really, is this product here. So this is the Tula Skincare Glow and Get It Cooling and Brightening Eye Balm. I never talk about this, but I use this all the time. This feels so nice underneath of the eyes. I used to have a similar product from Physicians Formula that was in last year's Project Pan, and I didn't love that one. It kind of left a weird residue underneath of the eyes. This one doesn't. It doesn't look or do like anything. It just feels very cooling. I have a little eyeliner on my hand. It's just really cooling. So I just kind of do one of these and I do one of these. I let it set for a few seconds and then I kind of tap it in and then I go in with my primer. I just have so much puffiness underneath of my eyes. I have really like enhanced kind of bags under my eyes. You can't tell too much when I'm filming because of the lighting, but in real life, I have like those, you know, kind of pockets right here. So I find this really does help. I don't know if it helps kind of all day long, but sort of in the moment when I first get up and my eyes are really puffy and I put this on, it just feels really nice. It's a nice sort of sensorial experience. I do feel like it hydrates the under eye area really nicely. And I use this almost every day and I never think to share it with you guys. Another one that's not really makeup is this right here. So this is my color switch. I got this in a BoxyCharm. This is by the brand Lavish. I'm sure you've probably seen one of these. It's dirty. I used a lot. But this is a color switch. So what you do, it's got this sort of textured stuff inside, and you just take your like dirty eyeshadow brush and swirl it around in there and it takes the pigment off. So when I'm in a rush and I'm doing my makeup before work, I have a lot of makeup brushes. I have so many. So sometimes I just grab like 2 and I'll just keep using the same 2 brushes and swirling off the color because I don't have time to like look for another brush. This is just so easy. I feel like before I had this, I just had like a gross like face cloth like in the drawer of my vanity, and this is just nicer. It keeps it at least contained within this little container. So I didn't pick products out of like each category because these are just kind of the ones that popped into my mind that I'm always grabbing for. So I did put 2 bronzers in here. So I only own one cream bronzer, and that is the Milk Makeup matte bronzer in the shade Baked. I have this on today as my bronzer. I think that this is so beautiful. I just have the mini size. I see a lot of people painting it right on the face and blending it in. I have not had a lot of luck doing it that way. I like to just kind of swirl my brush on top of it and then stipple it in onto my face. So really love this. I reach for this all the time. It's in my current Shop My Stash. I'm really loving the cream products right now for summertime, and this has been a go-to product. It's the only cream bronzer I have, so it is the one that I'm reaching for. And then I did throw another bronzer in here because I never talk about this. So I don't talk a lot about Physicians Formula because they're no longer cruelty-free, but I do reach for the butter bronzer often, like really often. So I have the shade Light Bronzer. This is a cult classic. Everybody's seen the butter bronzer in its hideous packaging. Should we talk about the little brush underneath? Who's using that? It's not even a brush, it's like a weird sponge. Anyway, I digress. The bronzer itself is so beautiful. So this is my go-to bronzer, especially in the winter time. These are products that I don't have to worry about overusing. So some of the bronzers in my collection, I'll get to work and I'll come in and I'll film a video and then I'll start editing that video. And I'm like, well, Jamie, you sure had a heavy hand with the bronzer this day. With this one, I never have to worry about that. So this time of year, I have a little bit more of a tan. We're going for a little more of a bronzy look. I can get away with a little bit more bronzer. This is the bronzer where if I'm fair, if I don't have a lot of time to blend things out and make sure everything looks perfect, this is the one that I go for because it's so light, because it's so easy to blend, because it's more of a baked formula. You're not going to get too much on your brush. You're not going to get too much on your face. It's going to blend out like a dream. It's called the butter bronzer for a reason. It blends out like butter. It's got that great smell, you know, it's like a whole experience. So these are sort of the go-tos, and then the other bronzers that I have, I sort of pull in when I'm in the mood. But these are the ones that are front and center all the time. This powder, okay, so my under eyes. We've talked about the texture. I'm in my mid-30s, so it's a thing. Another thing that I have a lot of issue with is my concealer darkening underneath my eyes when I put powder on. So I have a variety of different powders that I sort of use on the face, but then I usually have one powder that works under my eyes, and that's the one, you know? I have found it, okay? This is the one. So if you are like me and you get that like yellowy appearance underneath the eyes, or the darkening of the concealer as soon as you put like a loose powder on or something like that, you need to try this. So this is the Covergirl Clean Fresh Pressed Powder, and this, I have the shade Translucent. There's 3 shades. You're gonna say, Jamie, that's white. And it is, it's white, but it's translucent. So yeah, it looks white on the finger, but then it completely disappears on the hand. So it really is translucent. They also have a light and I think a medium. They may have other shades, but I live in Atlantic Canada. We don't have a lot of things here. So those are the 3 colors I've seen locally. So I can use it with a brush. I can use it with the little, you know, puff that it comes with, a sponge. It doesn't matter. It blurs underneath the eyes. It flattens out that area. It locks my concealer into place. It doesn't change the color of my concealer. And because it's white, it gives me a little bit of brightening, but it doesn't give any sort of flashback in photos or anything like that. It doesn't give that weird, you know, flashback Mary situation. So I do only use this underneath of my eyes, but I think I probably could like set my T-zone with it and it would be fine. This is also talc free, which is really great for me being an acne prone skin type. I try to do as many talc free products as I can. So really, really loving this. If you're looking for a good under eye powder, highly recommend that you try this out. I did throw one blush in here. So this is the Tigi Awaken Glow Blush. This was in last year's Project Pan. You can see, I'm starting to see like the rings through the blush. This is the blush where if I just need to throw something on really quick, this is the one. Something about the shade of this, it's this sort of corally shade. It looks very natural on my skin tone, regardless of the time of year, when I'm my most pale, when I'm my most tan, doesn't matter. It blends like a dream. It's a little bit more of a baked formula, so it's not too overly pigmented to where you're like getting a giant patch of blush. It just fluffs on in the most natural way. It's not sparkly, but it does have like a sheen to it. When you put it on, it gives you, it's called a glow blush. It gives you a little bit of a glow without like a sparkle or a shimmer. It doesn't enhance texture. There's just something really magical about this one. I've had it for an embarrassing amount of time. I've probably had this 10 years. Tigi is the makeup brand that I carried when I first started my business. 2012? 2011? Doesn't matter. It was a while ago. This is the brand that I used at the time, and this is one of the few products that I have sort of left from that initial kit that I bought. Anyways, love this one so much. I reach for it all the time. Another product that I reach for all the time is this one here. This is also in my Project Pan. So it's so funny because like the things that you use every single day are really not necessarily your favorites. It's so interesting. My friend bought this, hated it, gave it to me, and I've nearly used it up. I don't use the darker shades on this end. This one just broke. I don't use these, but these 4 shades I use all the time. All I have on my eyes today is this one and some shimmer that we're going to talk about a little bit later. But this is my go-to. I have 15 minutes to get ready for work and I got to put something on my eyes. I'll take that light brown color or this like peachy pink color all over the lid into the crease, blend it out with this lighter pink color, and then pop a little shimmer on the lid and off I go. Little mascara, boom, done. No eyeliner, nothing. Super simple. It's not super pigmented, so it's really easy to work with. It's just like this could be called like no-brainer makeup, you know, and that's kind of what it is. The day-to-day things that I grab for are the things that I don't have to think about. Anyway, this is great. If you're just looking for something simple and easy to work with, I think this is under $10. I didn't even say what it is. This is the e.l.f. Mad for Matte eyeshadow palette in the shade Nude Mood. They have, I think, 3 or 4 different types like this, but this is the Nude Mood one. And lastly, for eyeshadow, like who would have ever, I gave this such a bad review when I got this in a boxy charm. So this is the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea Volume 3 eyeshadow palette. I gave this a terrible review when I got it. Listen, it looks like this. I use this thing every day. I use it every day. So it looks like this. There's one matte in here. I don't use it. It's terrible. It's really like, where is the pigment? There isn't any. But the shimmers, okay. So here's the thing. Are they the best shimmers you've ever used? Not really. But it's sort of like every natural colored shimmer you could ever want or need in one tiny little palette. And so when I need an inner corner highlight, I go to this one or this one. I have just a little bit of shimmer tapped on my lid today. It's this shade right here. When I'm doing that like super easy neutral makeup and I just need to tap something on the lid, it's one of these. If I need an inner corner highlight, it's one of these. If I need a brow bone highlight, it's one of these. It's just so easy to grab into because everything I need is in there in one place. I don't know how this happened. I really don't. And then I just have kind of some odds and ends that stay in the top drawer of my vanity. So I have my brow products, okay? So I usually have one brow pencil on the go. I brought 2. I brought 2 because truly my most used one, like one specific one, is this one. This is the Covergirl Ultra Fine Brow Pencil in the shade Soft Blonde. This just happens to be the one that I'm currently using, so I brought it as well. This is the NYX Micro Brow Pencil in the shade Taupe. I always have one micro brow pencil on the go that I sort of use for my initial fill-in. Then I grab my brow gel. This just happens to be the one that I'm currently using. All of the writing has worn off of it. I heard that this could happen. I think this is the Benefit Gimme Brow. I'm pretty sure that's what this is called. Anyways, I always have a brow gel. I fill in my brow with my little pencil. I brush all the hairs up with my little eyebrow gel, and then I take my brow pen. So this is the NYX Lift and Snatch brow pen in the shade Taupe. I draw some little hairs just where like the holes are. I have like a hole right here. I have a hole right here. I just kind of fill in where there should be some hairs and there are some missing with the pen. Off I go. So I always have sort of 3 go-to brow products. They can change from time to time, but there's always these 3. And then I have my eyeshadow primer. So I can't live without an eyeshadow primer. I use one every single time that I do eye makeup, and I really feel the eyeshadow primer makes a huge difference in staying power and in terms of blendability. So this has been my go-to for a really long time. So this is the Unique Moodstruck Eye Primer. This is from like an MLM. I do have a client that sells this. I generally don't support MLMs, but I do really like this product. You know, she's a great client to me. I buy this off of her. I don't know. It's a trade-off. So this has made all the difference. I have oily skin. I've mentioned that many times. I used to have a real problem with that like crease here sort of midday. Since I started using this, I have never experienced that. It really does lock everything into place. It gives your eyeshadows more pigment. It gives them something to grip onto. It's just life-changing. That's not to say you have to have this one, but eyeshadow primer in general makes such a difference. This is just my go-to. And then I have a few like go-to lip products. I literally had to go get them out of my purse. Like these are the ones that live in the purse, okay? This is not like anything that's in the vanity. So I always have some sort of like just a regular lip balm in my purse. I currently have the doTERRA, what is this? The original lip balm in here. This is a coconut oil based lip balm. I really like that as opposed to like a waxy one. So I always just have a plain lip balm. Then I have like my nighttime lip balm. This is sounding crazier and crazier, but these are the things that I use every single day, right? So this is the one that lives on my nightstand, and this is the Seraphine Botanicals Apple Plus Baume Glow Lip Mask. I got this in a boxy charm, and I gave this a glowing review in a speed reviews. It's probably about half gone. This stuff is so great. It's cruelty-free. It smells really great. My dog, every time I put this on, Charlie wants to give me all the kisses. But it looks like this. It's just It's so nice. It's a little bit glossy. It's got a little bit of a pinky sort of tone to it, but like not really. But it stays really nicely on the lips sort of overnight. And that's what I like. So I keep this on my nightstand. I use it every night before bed. If I'm in the house and I need something on my lips, I'll usually run in and put this on. I love it so much. I always have a lip gloss in my purse, and I usually kind of keep one lip gloss in my purse. So this is the one I'm currently keeping in my purse. This is the one that I'm going to pretty much every day for summer. This is the Chanel lip gloss in the shade number 92. So this is in my project pan. I've been using this pretty regularly. I always just have some kind of a lip gloss in my purse, and this is the one that I happen to be using right now. But really the go-tos that I wanted to mention were the lip liners. So these are my lip liners that live in my purse. So most often, quite often, what you've seen me have on in videos lately, because I haven't been wearing a lot of lipstick, is that Chanel lip gloss and this lip liner. This is the Botanicals lip liner in the shade Pouty. You're gonna probably find that these pencils all look really similar. So it's just like a pinky nude, a little bit more rosy than nude. So really flattering on my skin tone. I just line my lips with that, fill it in a little bit, and then slap that lip gloss on over top. I also have a couple of the NYX ones that I gravitate towards, and I have nude pink. So you can see it's a little bit lighter than the other one. And NYX nude suede shoes. So this one's a little bit more, it's sharp because it needs to be sharpened. A little bit more nude, see? So these are the ones you kind of know are gonna go well under any lipstick. I have the color Naked from Appeal. It's like a gel liner. That one's really smooth. These are also similar. I'm realizing I don't probably need to have all these in my purse. And this is the Ace Beauté Be Peachy. This one's a little bit darker. So I've got I've got a range from like pink to like more of a brownie nude, and it's a real gradation there. So those are kind of my go-to liners that I keep either in my purse or in the top drawer of my vanity. When I'm going to do makeup for prom and weddings, these are like the 5 liners that I would bring with me, because most people are wearing a nude to those things. And they're just reliable liners. They go on really nice. They stay on really well. Some are a little creamier than others, so depending on what I'm pairing them with. If I'm doing it with a lip gloss, I tend to go with the ones that are a little firmer. If I'm doing it with a bullet lipstick or something that's a little bit drier, I tend to go with the more like gel type formulas. So those are sort of my go-to products. These are the products that I reach for every single day, my most used products. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. What are some of your most used products? Not your favorites, but the ones that almost surprised you. What are the ones that you're like, I did not expect that I would reach for that every day, but I just do. It just works. So I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon in another video. Bye.